My biological father took me to the hospital to do an abortion.
Let's talk about him.
I wouldn't say I was in love with him. He was so persistent, and when he comes, he's always starched shirts, white shirts, speaking good English. I didn't get to know him before we started having sex and everything. It kept happening for 3 weeks. Funny enough, he would even give me gin to drink the gin. Wow. That if I drink the gin, I will not be pregnant. Then I realized that it was a cultist.
Cultist?
Yes, not just any cultist. It was the number 2 going to number 1. He said if I gave birth to a boy, when the boy is 10 years old, it would initiate the guy into cultism.
At the moment, are they present in that life?
No, they are not.
Still not present.
No, they are not. Still not present. I didn't even hear from anybody in my house till I was 6 months gone.
So where did you go? Looking back now, what's the one thing you think you knew at the time but you ignored?
What was the one thing I knew but I ignored? Maybe following boys.
What would love to you mean now?
Love to me now would mean present. So I feel like women should be more as logical, as emotional as they are. And that's one thing men are they are very calculating.
Telling your younger self to be focused and leave men alone.
Yes.
Is that what you still feel about men now? Would you still say you want to leave men alone right now?
Well.
So here in this room, we have Miss. Because I've had an interview with her, I know her name. We have Miss Bola. She's a mother of a girl, a single mother, and everything we've been saying in the room has revolved around a story. So in the next few minutes, we're going to hear her speak, not just talk about her, but allow her speak for herself. And then we get to ask her questions, and she would respond to us. Thank you for being here. Thank you for saying yes.
Everyone. Thank you.
Okay, so my first question is, could you please take us back before the whole event happened, before you met him, before the pregnancy? Take us back. Who were you?
Okay, I don't know everyone. Who was I? Okay, I was, would I say a lost girl? Yes, I was. Like she said earlier, we had already had this interview before, and I remember that I mentioned that growing up as a girl child or as a child, I was very suicidal. I grew up very depressed, very, my low self-esteem was so low that you can step on it. That was how low my self-esteem was. I feel like everybody, when somebody's sitting beside me, if you look at me, I feel like you're just thinking about different annoying things about me. And I'm like, hey, why is she looking at me like that? Is my shoe fine? Oh, am I wearing the right dress? You know, I was that low. Even though my parents loved me, I always felt they didn't love me, maybe because of the way they trained us. So yes. Growing up, I felt, I think while I was in the university, because at the time all these things happened, it was in the 200 level. So when I got to the university, I've always felt this void in my heart, in myself. I thought that I needed to fill with so many things. So before, there was no definition of who I was, basically. I was just somebody, you know, that, yes, I was just lost. There was no substance.
Okay.
Yeah.
So would you say who you were at the time contributed largely to how event played out?
Yes, it did. Because if I had even if a tiny little bit of standards and self-esteem, I would have given myself more worth of who I should have been with and what I should have been doing in school.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it would have...
It would have helped things. There was a way the video ended, and personally, I would love to know the answer. I believe everyone in the room would also love to know the answer. It was a question about what do you think of men now? How do you perceive them now? What do you feel about men now?
Okay. So that event has created a certain perception I have about men, and it has not really changed. Yes, actually, I think men are very inconsistent people, and they don't know how to stay one place. Yes. So, but also, I now believe that they are good men. Yes. But even the good men, even the good men, there's still some little. Yes, you just need to put them in their place for them to be able to, be on the same emotional level as
So
you are.
you think that men generally, they have this, that trace of
Yes.
all men? Is that what you think?
Ah,
Or some men?
all men, but in levels.
All men, but in levels.
Yes.
Let me ask this. Yes, this is a place for where we have tensioned conversation. So I want to ask, this belief you have about men, what do you think? Is this something? Is it a belief you think that you want to? Is it safe to pass over to your daughter?
Okay. It's not. But truthfully, I might have been passing this perception
Okay.
to my daughter. But I there was something someone said. Okay, I think there was something Papa said, Bishop Faye Daniel said, that it was just about a few months ago, not so far, so this year. And I was like, and it's true. I shouldn't be saying these things to this girl and making her like just generally just don't like. I'm like, men are not good people. Stay away from them, mom. They're making people. I keep like, But I'm like, no, I shouldn't do that. I should not plant such seeds into her and making her. And fortunately for me, she doesn't even listen to me. She will say, men are, mommy, there's still men that will love you. Men are still good people. Don't mind my father. Oh. And I'm like, oh, okay. But so I think, yes, maybe that's where I'm glad she's not listening to me on that aspect. So, yes.
You really cannot say that she's not listening to you until she's at a crossroad of making decisions.
Yeah,
Okay. I have this other question. How old is your daughter now?
She'll be 13 in June.
So because I want people to ask you questions. So if you want to tell us something now about love, about men, one thing, what would that be?
I would tell her that if a man that loves you would be patient with you, he would not rush you. If it's not time, it's not time. He would not say, "Oh, be fast, let's date, let's be in a relationship." If this man says, "I love you," and you tell him it's not time, he would be patient with you.
Okay.
Because love is patient.
Love is patient. Beautiful. One more question. It's been 13 years of parenting this child alone. What are the things outside money that single motherhood actually costs that people don't get to see? What are the things single motherhood has cost you outside money, other things that people don't get to see or even talk about or even appreciate?
Well, one is most time maybe if I want to get into a relationship with someone and they find out I'm a single mother, that's it. Nobody really it's a little percentage of men who wants to actually be with a single mother. They think it's another burden on its own, or maybe you were just one promiscuous girl and so they don't want to be with a single mother. So I've kind of lost a couple of good people, and it doesn't mean those people are bad people because they didn't want to be with me. They just have their own reasons, and that's okay. So that one, a lot of downtimes, times where you're just on your own and crying and wailing and wishing things could just have been better or things would have changed, or if wishing that the father was even there at least to maybe not because of your own self, but just to help with the relationship and the parenting, because to be honest, there is a lot of roles that man would have played with her, even as right now, so yeah.
So, talking about roles, how do you get to fill those roles? What are the things you do to get those roles filled?
Well, one thing is I get her everything she wants. So there's
Okay.
nothing I don't deny her of anything that I can afford. So I make sure that I'm up to date, and I think that she has picked every school that she's been wanting to go. I don't care about how much the school fees is. She has never gone to a public school. She's always been to a private school. No matter how much the fee is, I'll get it paid. She likes the school, just go there. Or you want this, just have it. And, I make sure that, I don't make her feel any less love than anybody that comes to school with their daddy feels. Most times she comes home crying.
Wow.
Sometimes she makes excuses at school and say, "Oh, our daddy's dead. He was in an accident and he died." Just because people ask questions, and then I'm like, "Oh, it's not dead. Stop saying that. It's just not around." So I just keep making excuses, but I make sure that I get her what she wants. I show her as much love, and thankfully for me, she's with my mom. So it's a big house. So my brother, my dad, my auntie, my grandma. So everybody just try to fill up that space that he wouldn't have filled here.
Do you think it's important that she has a father figure in her life, or does she have one?
Right now, she doesn't. The person that would have replaced that would have been my father, and then my father, father decided to, So now, right now, there is no, father figure right now. And do I think that she needs it? I do really think that she needs it, but right now I'm still single, so there's nothing I can do about that. Yes.
Okay. Do you think that she needs a father figure? And then from what you said, I'm figuring that you would want the father figure to be somebody that is closely related to you, say probably your own husband or your own biological father. Do you think father figure is confined to that box alone? My husband, my biological father?
Not really, because
Okay.
I've seen other single mothers who have friends be a father figure. Like this uncle always shows up for me and oh, okay, I'll report it to uncle this person, uncle that person, and they actually do listen. It's just the man figure, somebody who is very authoritative and say, oh, don't do this, don't do that, and they listen to it. So it doesn't have to be related by blood, or maybe I have another brother too, and he's not really playing that role either way. So it could be anybody that is close to me and that appreciates her or likes the child in question.
So are you on the lookout for one for her?
I'm not looking yet because I'm very protective of her also. I'm very protective of her emotions. I've never introduced her to anybody I've been with because people go and I don't want someone to say, oh, I'm not dating me again, and then she know this uncle with me and the uncle is no longer with me, and then she's not crying that uncle person and my mommy has 3, 4 boyfriend, 5 boyfriend. No, I don't want that. So there's no, oh, well, I miss this person. I can't do that. So I don't put her in a situation where her emotions just keeps getting caught every now and then.
All right, so that's it from me. Let's hear from the house. Okay, let me drop a disclaimer, right? I cannot guarantee that questions will not be hard, right? But I can guarantee that you are safe. All right. So, all right. The floor is open. You have a question for our guest. Please identify. I'll give you the opportunity to ask the question. And the same thing goes to everybody online. You have a question for our guest. It's the time to do so. You have this opportunity for about 10 minutes, and then we'll cut this session a wrap. Yes, Minister Margaret.
Okay, thank you for being here with us, Ms. Bola.
Yes, ma'am.
So I have 2 questions. They're light questions, don't worry. My first question is, how has motherhood changed the way you see life itself and success?
Oh, I'm very grateful for motherhood because it has helped me to be more serious. I don't think I was ever a serious person growing up. So knowing that I have a responsibility, I have someone to cater for, I am very serious with business. I am very serious with work. I'm very serious with life. So if I want to do something, I will remember that I have someone looking up to me, someone I have to look back to. I can't just pick my bag and say, oh, I'm going to Sokoto today, going to Taraba tomorrow. I know that there is somebody, I have to provide for, I have to do things for, regardless of, So it has really helped me. It has really put me together, put me in one place. Yeah.
Thank you for your response. And my second question would be, what kind of support do you think single mothers need most that they do not receive, either from the society or from family or friends?
For some, it might be money, but for most, it might be more of emotional and mental support. Because at first, okay, like I said this. But at first, I didn't feel seen for a long time, even from my own, family. I feel like, don't you guys know that I am a single mother? Like, there is nobody. It is just me. Like, are you guys not seeing what I'm going through? Are you guys not seeing that I am sad? Are you not seeing I'm crying? Are you not seeing I'm going through a lot? Are you not seeing that I'm solely responsible for taking care of this child? So even in the beginning, my dad always say in Yoruba, like, why are you saying that? That's not important. Like,
Could you please interpret?
Yeah, like, as I mean, it was a responsible person that got you pregnant. They would have brought a bag of rice during Christmas. Stuff like that. I'm like, So it's a lot of times, more than financial, we need more of emotional support, more of, how are you? Are you okay? Are you fine? How is it going? Stay strong. You're doing well. I'm proud of you. Something like that would just motivate, a lot of them, like, okay, yes, they can do this, because trust me, it's not even easy, but we thank God.
All right, it's fine. I think I have one more question, Ma. It just came up with mine.
Please, let's give a lot of people a chance because of our time. Okay, I saw Mr. Rex first, and then Miss Jumi.
Okay, thank you. So you said before the incident started that you have this low self-esteem.
Yes.
So can you point out the thing that probably made you to have this low esteem that makes you to be depressed? Because you used the word you were depressed, you are the lowest level, because I'm sure you were not born like that. So what are the events or things that happened that actually made you to be depressed and start feeling low?
Well, I'm not sure I can really say that this is the point of my life where I started feeling this way. But growing up, I went to a boarding school, and I was bullied a lot. So, going to boarding school, and then they would beat you, they would drag you, they would turn you. And also, for a long time in my life, I was a bedwetter. Yeah, so that's one also. Imagine having to be shamed every time, putting your nose on your bed to sniff your bed. Your mom, your siblings, your sister putting pepper inside your private part so that maybe that one would remove it. A lot. So those kind of things just put me in a space, in a box that you just feel like, oh, you're not good enough. You're, like, they don't love you, they don't see you, So even when I was in school, in boarding school, I would carry the bed on my head and walk the Olo stair with my dripping bed. Wow, okay, yes. So remember now, it's just very funny. So I think those incidents were things that built up over time and caused depression, low self-esteem, and low self-worth and the likes. Yeah.
Okay, Miss Jumi.
The first question I wanted to ask was about that, because I know that children don't just grow up to have depression. I see you, I hear you. Right. So the thing is, so my question is, where is the father of this child? Is he the same person he was? Is he still in that association of cultism? Are you ever in touch with him? Does he get to talk to her at all, or just say hello? Is he willing to contribute, whether financially or in any way? Or have you allowed him into that, into your space? Yeah.
Okay, so before, while I was pregnant, even before I had the child, he left the school. So he didn't even finish. But I don't know what happened to him or what he was about. Am I currently in touch with him? No, I haven't been in touch with him. Has he tried to contact? Few times, yes. Especially, this is 1 year, so 2 years ago, around September. So his mother came, surprisingly. She wanted to talk to my mother. So I was hoping, okay, maybe it's about time they want to come and show up, and and prior to that time, I'd spoken to Bishop Daniels, my father, that and that, he had sat me down and said, Bola is enough. Just forgive, just move on, let him come in, let him do what he needs to do. The burden is too much for you. I mean, if you support 2K, 3K here and there, I mean, that's something. I'm like, okay, it's not bad. I mean, it's not for my own sake, but for the sake of the child, let him just, show up. So I'd settled that if he comes around, I'm cool. I'm no longer angry. Let him just come and do whatever he needs to do. So he came around, but I didn't even know. I was not aware. He just appeared. And I wasn't prepared. My child wasn't prepared. It was a drama that day. Thank God I called Papa like, hello sir, this guy is here. I don't want him here. My mom is just acting all like she's not, I'm going through stuff. I didn't even see him coming. The child has never seen him. She was emotionally drained. She said, oh, she wants to follow my daddy. I want to follow my daddy. I'm not staying with you again. And like, after all these years, this girl, you want to follow your daddy? And that one, just broke me. You're like, so without the sacrifice, you just want to follow this guy, somebody you just met. And Papa said, everybody scatter the meeting, go back to where you're from. No meeting is holding today. If you want to really have a conversation, you would come on in a different day where the child is not involved right there, so that we can talk like adults. They never came back. Nobody ever called. That's 2 years ago. And that's the only time I've actually seen him in 13 years. And he didn't call me. He has not called. He didn't apologize. So no contact whatsoever till now.
Yes. This will be the last question in the house, and then we'll go.
Once again, thank you very much
welcome,
for being vulnerable with us. What I want to ask is, and there's a follow-up to it, considering this whole situation, have you healed from it? And if it is yes, what makes you think you have healed?
Good question. That's a setup question.
Because it's easy to say yes.
Yes. Have I healed from it? Do people really heal from it?
Yes.
They do? Okay. Okay, am I angry? No, I'm not. I'm no longer angry. I used to be angry. But have I fully healed? Okay, if I think about it, I no longer cry. Because I used to cry. Will I say that's healing? It's not. Okay. What makes me... So if I've not healed, that means I cannot answer what makes me think I've healed.
Then,
but I think I'm okay. I don't...
advise you to see a therapist.
I should see a therapist. Okay. I would...
All right, let's go the round of asking questions, right? And not the round of necessarily giving advice. We would have the opportunity to give advice after now. Let's just ask questions. Online. Let's hear.
Ma, should I read only questions or comments and questions?
Questions alone.
Okay. Ethan says, love is patience. Bola, does that mean a lady's growth should slow me down because she didn't grow when she ought to? Do you think growth and love should be balanced?
Take the question again.
Okay. Ethan says, love is patience. And then he asks that, Bola, does that mean a lady's growth should slow me down because she didn't grow when she ought to? More like, should I wait for the lady I love to grow? Don't you think growth and love should be balanced?
Yes. I think a lot of ladies wait for guys to grow too, actually. So I think you can also wait for the lady to grow also. And you can also grow and love together. So if you... it depends on what level she is in. And as a guy, I think you're way here for you to think that she's growing. So you can help her grow. You can build together. You can grow together. So that way, love and growth and patience can just work hand in hand, and you guys can build whatever future you want to build.
All right. Ethan also asked that, Bola, if you had to choose again, would you choose being a single mother again?
I will not. I I will not. Oh, I will not.
All right, so Darasimi says, thank you, Bola, for gracing us with your presence. If there's anything you will say to every single mother out there, what would it be?
If there's one thing I'll say to every single mother, I would say you made the right choice by keeping that child. I would say you did well. I would say I'm proud of you. I would say it's okay to cry sometimes, but when you're done crying, get up, and clean your eyes, go back to your drawing board, and fix it.
Okay, Mr. Bola says, Sister Bola, you mentioned not denying your daughter anything as long as you can afford it. How do you reconcile that with not spoiling her?
Well, I don't know if anybody has seen me with my daughter. I don't spoil her. Any small thing she will collect slap. I don't. So, but when I mean anything she wants, I mean there are things that yes, but petty things like, oh, mommy, I want an iPad, I get that for her. Mommy, I want a bicycle, I get that for her. I want to eat this, I get that for her. But not in a way that sometimes she asks me something, I'm like, do you need it right now? Is it because somebody have it in your class? I said, no, you don't need that right now, so I'm not going to get it for you, even though I can. So it has to be important, and she has to know that, because I make sure I tell her that, do you need this right now? Is it a need or a want? This is what you need right now, so do it. Oh, I want a new school shoe. That's okay, you're going to get a new school shoe. But that you want an iPhone, because she's currently asking me for a phone. We don't need that right now. You want to be doing TikTok? No. So no, I'm not spoiling her in that level. Yeah. So
okay. No. Last question. Ethan says, Bola, I believe your self-esteem is better. What changed it? Who did you meet? What did you hear that helped you?
Okay. Okay. How my self-esteem got better? Before I came to Irene, I've attended a couple of churches. I went to White Garments, I went to this church, I went to that church. And on the long run, for a whole year, I didn't go to any church. I just stayed at home, read my Bible, prayed, cried, and then I was still in school by then. So when I came back to Lagos, I attended Daystar. And I met a particular person. Papa would know him. I met a particular person, and he was pretty young. It's years ago. And he always tells me, he calls me Gbolade, by the way. He says, Gbolade, if you don't believe in yourself, I believe in you. Borrow my belief. He says it every time I will cry. And I don't know if you've been to Daystar. You know the way they always dress very yoppy and very gang, all their youth. I'm like, I don't have shoe, I don't have clothes. So even right there, I was so timid. Like, I was big, I was very big, but I was timid. Like, I should not go and step on her and they will beat me, So, but every time I keep going there, like, not even for service. I don't know, for some reason, they are always there in church, gisting and building themselves. So I always go there and, I keep meeting these young people and we keep talking about life, and gradually, somehow, that just helped. And then I attended there's this thing that Daystar used to do. So they train people on different crafts. So I learned shoemaking and bag making back then, so that way it just helped. So it wasn't like a one-time thing. The same way the depression and the low self-esteem wasn't just a one-time event. It wasn't something that just happened. It was a pile-up of things. Same way that, and I said previously that when I got to university, I felt a certain void in myself that I thought I needed to fill with sex, boys, a lot of crazy things, but I then realized it was Jesus I needed. Yeah, so I've been a Christian for a long time, because my parents were Christians, but I wasn't born again. Actually, when you say altar call, I came out 7 times for altar call. Like, every time you're always coming out, but it still didn't feel it until I met a particular pastor, and he said, do I know that if I was the only person on earth, Jesus would still have died for me? Jesus, I cried that day. I cried so much. I was like it was like I was suffocated, like something just came out and something just came in. That day, the void just got filled up. I just felt so much love. I said, so Jesus loved me like this, even without my bad character. So I felt so much, fulfilled. So I think that one helped. But of course, hearing people now say they believe in me, or you're doing well, you're not who your father says you are. My dad will say you're ugly, you're fat, nobody will like you, nobody will marry you, eat too much. Look at you, why are you looking at the mirror? What are you, all those weird things. And like, I would just look at myself like, actually, I'm not fat like that, you are ugly, it's like, a lot of things, a lot of weird things. And so this particular man, I keep saying that these are the things my dad says. So you will say, don't say this. So I keep saying new things to myself. So over time, over years, I just, got better and, yeah, better.
All right, I believe that's the last question we have online. I have one more question, and then I'll give you an opportunity to say your final word. The question I have is, looking at everything personally before the pregnancy or maybe afterwards, the things you've had to go through being a child to your parent, what is one or two things you had to go through that you would not subject your child to?
One thing is, this is one reason why it doesn't matter what my child wants to tell me, I make sure I listen. I don't want to know whether it is somebody I just make sure I listen. That's one thing my parents never did. We were never vocal. There was no point where I can say, one boy said this, or somebody did that, or something happened. I couldn't explain, I couldn't talk. So even when important things happened to me, I couldn't still say it because I'm always being shut down, even at the slightest thing. So I feel like when I want to say something else, she will not even answer me. So there's no point saying it. But right now with my child, I make sure that I listen. So I still tell my mom, stop telling her to shut up. Don't say, don't shut up, leave me. Let her talk. Even if it's rubbish, just let her. Because if there's something important to happen and she wants to talk, she will not come to you. She will say, Grandma will say I should shut up now. Let me just keep quiet. Yeah. So always be open to hear whatever your child wants to say. It might be that small thing. Somebody, okay, sorry, it's okay. Even if you don't even think it's important, okay, sorry, because the day something important, happens, like recently, she said, Mommy, is it okay to have a crush? And I'm like, you're having crush. I say, hey, my daughter, it's not okay, but it's just we say hi and hello, Don't the important part of your body, the place that they should not touch. Don't say hi. Who is the person? Can I miss the person? So don't say, shut up. You are a crush. You this girl. All those things like. So next thing something else happens, she will not just come to me to say anything. So yeah.
Please, can you put it all together again for our guests? Thank you. Before I wrap up this session, it's been a wonderful session. It's been eye-opening. And before I wrap it up, I just want perhaps you have one word, one sentence, or something to say that people have not asked you and you want everybody to know, like a final word.
Okay, what would that be? What have you guys not asked me?
It doesn't have to be a question to answer. If you have a final word, if you don't have, it's fine. You've done it
I'm grown now. I'm much better now. I'm happier now. I have small money now. So I'm taking care of my child now. I'm not hungry. I'm just very grateful that I am not where I used to be and who I used to be. I'm in a better place, doing the better things. So I'm not regretful. I'm glad I had Ella. She's one of the best things that's happened to me. She's an amazing girl. So I'm so glad for her, and I don't regret anything or any decision that I made with her or that happened. So yes, I'm not regretful. Don't pity me. I'm not pitiful. I'm happy. It's been an amazing journey, and it's just a good journey to be a single mom. So yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Once again, I want to say a very big thank you. A very big thank you. Thank you for saying yes. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being vulnerable with us. Thank you for being open. I believe that the room and everyone online, or majority of the people online, are not the same with what they have heard. I am not the same. I'm really grateful for the privilege of, hearing this.
Thank you.
Story. I want to say to everyone as my closing chat tonight that usually when you talk about single motherhood or single parenting, because it can be the other way around too sometimes, the story the world has about it is usually goes one or two ways. It's either you hear things like, oh, she's resilient, she's a hero, she's doing it all, or you hear things like she's a cautionary tale, like a warning about choice. And there's something these two stories have in common. It's that many times they don't really get to ask the real questions, ask what actually happened, ask the question, how are you now? They don't really get to ask the question, what is single parenting costing you, and how are you navigating that journey? And that is something we've been able to do this evening, to ask her the real question about how our journey has been. And I think that is very, very important. And I'm grateful about our closing charge. She emphasized the fact that she's grown and she's grateful. A lot has changed, and that tells you that our story is not one of a cautionary tale, it's a testimony, right? And yes, like the theme of tonight says, it left, but love didn't. And that's important because in the first place is not meant to be the epitome of love. God is love, which is why the question, what do you owe yourself? What realization do you owe yourself before giving your heart is important, because when you come to this realization, there are some things that you would not just expect, or if you don't get, it doesn't take you off your guard, you don't become someone else. So take that home tonight. God is love. And I want to say to everyone, single mother, single father, online, in the room, I want to say to you tonight that the absence of a person is not the absence of God. The absence of a person is not the absence of God. A child that has been raised by one committed, one present, one God-trusting parent, a child that has been raised by one, has access to something that an absent father cannot take away from her. So, regardless, and the Bible says, has a very interesting, when you read the scripture, you realize that God has a very specific posture towards the fatherless. And when I talk about fatherless now, it doesn't mean that the father is dead. A father that is not present is almost like a fatherless. It's almost like the child is fatherless. You heard what the daughter comes home sometimes to say, my father is dead, because he's not even present. So the scripture has a very specific posture to situations like that, and you begin to realize how important God takes the fatherless. The Bible calls God the father of the fatherless. That's what the scripture calls him. And that is not just a comfort verse. Yes, that is comforting, but that more than that, it tells you that God is actively involved in their lives. The father of the fatherless. It means that God is not just looking, he's not just looking and saying, I don't care about this one, they don't matter to me. God is actively involved. And a very simple example is what happened to Hagar and Ishmael. There was no water. That child cried, and immediately help came. That is to tell you how involved God is in the lives of these children. And I'm saying this to encourage single mothers out there. I'm saying this to stir you up. She has said a lot. You're doing a good job, giving your best, training that child. But remember, always remember, in those low moments, always remember that you're not alone. God is very much interested in that child. You are not raising that child alone. God is there with you. And I want to say to also to every, I know that hearing that story, for some single mothers in my broad tears, there was a time she was going to tear up, right? And to some persons, it might bring smile to their face. Whatever the case is, I'm saying it again, you're not it may look like you're not parenting alone, but you're not raising that child alone. God sees everything. He sees it all. The moment, the night you had to stay awake crying alone, He sees it. The moment that you had to step into multiple roles, become the provider, become the comforter, become the disciplinarian, become the safe place for that child to land, God sees it all. And those moments are not wasted. And I want to say this to men in the house, men online, and men who will watch this podcast conversation later in the coming days. I want to say to you that this is not a condemnation, this is an invitation. The conversation is not to condemn anyone, it is to invite you into the reality of what you should step up into, what you should step into rather as a man. The damage that the absence of a father or fathers out there, the damage that he has caused, yes, it is so much out there. However, you listening to me, and those who will listen to me later, you have the power to rewrite the story. You have the power to reverse the order of things. And I'm not saying this because I know that someday you will raise a future home. Yes, that is true. Or maybe you're a father already. That is true. You have the power to rewrite that story in your home. You have the power to rewrite that story in your future home. But much more than that, I'm saying that you have the power to rewrite the story in your community. How do you do that? Be present. Stay. Mean what you say. Be consistent. Please be a man, be a father indeed. And lastly, I want to talk to single ladies out there, or ladies generally. She said something quite interesting. What would love mean to you now? In one word, she said presence. And that is very important. I think that is worth writing down because that is not wrong. And she also mentioned in the interview video that women should be, they should be logical even while emotional. That is very important. Be logical even while emotional. Being logical means that you pay attention to things. Being logical means that you pay attention to signs early enough. You see, I want to say it this way, that as a woman, you do not deserve any love that is lesser than consistent presence. You do not deserve any love that is less than showing up. You do not deserve a love that is less than a man telling you, I said to men earlier, mean what you say. Telling the truth and meaning what you say. Be present. Be present. Any love as a woman, any love that is lesser than that, I do not see it as love. I would not call it love. I will call it an audition. And you do not deserve that. So be as logical as much as emotional. To everyone tonight, thank you for being part of this conversation. We will be back next week. This is where we have, again, real conversations. We get to hear ourselves. We get to have deep conversations. And it's a safe place. So next week coming, bring someone who needs to be part of this conversation, who has a story to tell. We would love to hear their stories. Would love to hear them truthfully. Would love to listen to them and extend grace to them. Once again, thank you for being part of this conversation.